Night falls heavily over the emerald hills of Ireland. On an ancient country road, lit only by the pale silver of a moon, half hidden by drifting clouds, the distant, rhythmic, menacing beat of hooves echoes. Peasants still lingering outdoors hurry into their cottages, extinguish candles, and draw curtains. They know what creature prowls the darkness this night. From the blackness emerges a rider cloaked in raven garments, carrying his severed head in his right hand. A distant thunderclap rumbles across the sky, and for an instant, in the flash of lightning, the uncanny figure is revealed. The face no longer belongs to the living. It is the rider's own detached head. Legend claims that wherever this apparition halts, death will exact its tribute. Thus begins the tale of the Dullahan, the terrifying headless horseman of Irish folklore, whose mere presence inspires equal parts dread and fascination. Let us embark upon an epic journey through the mists of legend to uncover the origins, powers, and mysteries of this mythical being. To grasp the Dullahan's beginnings, we must travel back to epochs when Celtic myths and pagan beliefs ruled the island. Some historians believe the Headless Rider's story springs from an ancient fertility cult. One popular theory holds that the Dullahan embodies a dark Celtic deity named Crom Dubh, Crom the Black, to whom human sacrifices by decapitation were once offered. With Ireland's conversion to Christianity, these rites ceased and the pagan idol was destroyed. According to lore, enraged at losing his bloody tribute, the dethroned god transformed into the phantom horseman who roams the night, summoning the souls of those destined to perish. Written references appear much later, only in the 19th century, proof that the legend long survived by oral tradition. Folklorists such as Thomas Crofton Croker in the year 1825 and William Butler Yeats near that century's close collected and published tales of the Dullahan, bringing the legend to a wider audience. Even the famed German storytellers, the Brothers Grimm, translated accounts of the Headless Rider, spreading his fame beyond Ireland's shores. Thus the Dullahan became an emblem of Irish folklore, enduring the passage of time and adapting to new eras. Local custom wove the myth into annual observances. People claim the Dullahan appeared most often on festival nights such as Samhain, the eve of All Hallows, when the veil between the worlds of the living and the dead grows thin. On such nights, villagers stayed indoors behind shuttered windows, fearing to meet the phantom. Frequently, the Dullahan was linked with the Banshee, the wailing herald of death. If the Banshee wept to foretell a passing, the Headless Rider arrived to fulfill that prophecy, driving the sinister death coach to the victim's door. The Dullahan's image is as chilling as the ancient stories foretell. He is portrayed as a headless horseman, racing through the midnight on a mighty black steed. The rider brandishes his severed head aloft as though wielding a cursed lantern. That head is nightmarish, skin decayed to a sickly yellow, mouth fixed in a grotesque grin stretched from ear to ear and packed with sharp teeth. The enormous eyes gleam with unearthly light, allowing the Dullahan to pierce the deepest darkness. He raises the head above his shoulders to scan the shadowed countryside for his next quarry. Swathed in a sable mantle, the rider announces himself with a dreadful thunder of hooves or the grinding of wheels. Many accounts insist he commands a phantom coach, the Cois de Bodar, or deaf coach, drawn by restless black horses. Within the carriage lies a coffin prepared for the next soul. No gate nor lock can bar his passage. Every barrier swings open at his approach, for no earthly power may halt him. When the coach stops, the rider lifts his head high and speaks the name of the person whose time has come. This single utterance is the only moment the Dullahan ever speaks, and the spoken word seals an inescapable fate. Should a mortal glimpse him, the horseman cannot bear the gaze. To punish onlookers, he wields a whip fashioned from a human spine, striking to blind the victim. Other legends claim he hurls a basin of blood upon the curious, marking them for death. No one wishes to feel the wrath of the headless rider, for its meaning is grim finality. Yet folklore offers a sliver of hope. The Dullahan fears gold. No matter how fierce his pursuit, he retreats when gold gleams before him. Even a tiny golden object suffices. One tale recounts a traveler who, chased at night by the Dullahan, escaped by dropping a golden-headed pin onto the road. The creature shrieked and vanished. Consequently, many villagers carried gold coins as protective charms. The precious metal appears to be the only thing the harbinger of death dreads, proof that not even the most fearsome beings are invincible. For bygone generations, the Dullahan was no mere storybook spectre, but a menace taken seriously. Villagers avoided roads after dark, and at the faintest hoofbeat, they bolted doors. Parents pulled children indoors and forbade them to peer outside if anything uncanny sounded. The headless rider might bring disaster. Fear of the Dullahan became an unseen guardian of the night, keeping people safe in their homes. Local folklore records fateful encounters. One of the best known arose in County Clare toward the close of the 19th century. On a frigid December night, a servant of the noble McNamara household heard the noise of an invisible coach approaching Ennistimon Castle gates at midnight. Aware of the legend, he opened the gates to let the phantom carriage pass and turned his face away. The black coach sped through without pausing, and the next day news arrived that the castle's master had died suddenly far from home. Many believed the Dullahan had come to herald his death, while the servant survived unharmed because he had neither looked upon the spectre nor sought to hinder it. Such tales taught prudence before the unknown. Those forced to travel at night went in groups and carried golden amulets to deter evil spirits. They shunned desolate crossroads and places reputed to be haunted. Some held that consecrated church grounds lay beyond the reach of darkness, so reaching the shelter of the cross meant safety. These beliefs reveal how real the dread of the Dullahan was and served as warnings. They kept people clear of nocturnal dangers and suggested that any reckless deviation might exact a heavy, perhaps supernatural price. In the modern era, as science advanced and electric lights banished the night, faith in the Dullahan waned, and sightings remained largely in the realm of fantastic tales. Nevertheless, the legend continues to intrigue, and scholars propose varied explanations for its origin and endurance. One theory views the Dullahan as folklore's embodiment of death and inexorable fate. In traditional communities, the concept of death arriving as a dark messenger offered a narrative to accept the inevitable. Passing was not random, but preordained by the Black Rider. This notion gave mourners a slender comfort, believing loved ones departed as part of a greater design. Other researchers emphasized ties to pagan rituals. The Dullahan may echo mythic memories of human sacrifice ended by Christian influence. A dreadful custom long vanished could have left behind a terrifying phantom, reminding society of ancient practices. This would clarify why the legend persisted even after its original context faded, evolving into a standalone folk warning. Viewed broadly, the Dullahan fits a global pattern of similar figures. Tales of headless phantom knights appear elsewhere in Europe, And in America, the famous Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow became a cultural icon. It is speculated that the author Washington Irving drew inspiration from the Irish myth, given the resemblance of the spectral rider. Despite these parallels, the Dullahan remains distinctly Irish. Absent from early mythic texts, it seems born of late medieval popular imagination, enriched by unique local elements such as the fear of gold or the link with the banshee. Its obscure origin amplifies its enigma, a blend of Celtic influences, early superstitions, and universal themes, granting it a singular dark allure. Today, almost no one claims to have seen the Dullahan, yet the legend endures. In Ireland's rural regions, whispers still tell of hoofbeats on lonely roads at midnight, and whenever an uncanny sound breaks the darkness, someone recalls the Headless Rider. Paranormal enthusiasts and Halloween guides frequently invoke his name, preserving the mystery. No evidence has ever been found, as one might expect for a creature of legend, yet modern popular culture embraces the figure enthusiastically, placing the Dullahan in novels, films, and video games. Though real roads have grown safer, in the collective imagination, the Headless Horseman still gallops, bearing the aura of ancient mystery. The Dullahan legend demonstrates the enduring power of myth in human culture. From ancient rites to present-day Halloween nights, the Headless Rider has crossed the centuries unforgotten. He remains a symbol of mystery, of fear of the unknown, and of the boundless strength of human imagination. Picture, for one final moment, a lonely road winding among Ireland's hills late at night. A cold wind whistles, and somewhere afar, hoofbeats strike the earth. For an instant, our hearts tighten. The story lives anew in our minds. A shadow shifts in the darkness. If the legend became reality this very second, would we have the courage to look? Questions like these reveal that, no matter how far we advance, part of us yearns for mystery and adventure. The Dullahan continues to travel through time in the form of stories. As long as someone retells this legend, the headless silhouette will haunt the highways of our imagination. And if ever we again hear a mysterious gallop in the dead of night, we shall recall the phantom head raised toward the sky. We will know then that the tale of the Dullahan, like all great ancient legends, never truly dies. It lives on, instilling both fear and wonder, inviting us perpetually to explore new legendary realms.